In this video, I'm gonna tell a story about one of the most impactful chemists, yet probably one of the most tragic scientists of all time. Uh, he was Fritz Haber. Fritz Haber is the one who invented Haber process, where we can produce ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen gas. So why did I say Fritz Haber is most impactful and yet tragic scientist of all time? Well, Fritz Haber uh, probably has solved one of the biggest problem humanity ever faced, that is hunger. Fritz Haber is a German scientist who was awarded for his invention. Who was awarded a Nobel Prize for his invention in 1918, but all of his friends rejected and protest that he doesn't deserve for that award. So why was that happen? Why did that happen? So long time ago, before Haber's process haven't invented, um, there were an island where the land is covered by birds' poop, and people use the land or the poop uh, to fed their crops, and they find the land could double the yield of their crops. However, at a certain point, people were not able to obtain a certain substance that they used to fed their crops, as since the mountain of bird's poop was running out. So what is essentially caused the crops double their yield, as people fed the crops by the bird's poop? It turns out nitrogen. Nitrogen is essentially can be found in living creatures. Human itself are made up of three major components, which are oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. Nitrogen actually can be found in natural, but crops or plants can only consume pure form of nitrogen. So it is need a further effort to get a pure nitrogen. It actually bacteria can decompose nitrogen non-pure form into a pure form, but it takes a lot of time. So chemists come to the rescue. Scientists were racing to discover a process that can synthesize a nitrogen containing compound in laboratory, but including Haber. Luckily, Haber was working in a company where he can found hardly discovered material that can favor the process of ammonia synthesis. It was osmium. So at first he tried ammonia, and turns out the osmium can favor the reaction of ammonia synthesis. And then the process was commercialized by German chemical company named BASF. Probably you know the company. Probably you know BASF, still one of the biggest chemical company in the world until up to this time. And then he was allowed to build his own research institution. But then World War I breaks out. Unlike Einstein, Haber was volunteering himself to favor the German soldier for developing chemical weapon. Long short story, he was successfully developing chemical weapon that can eradicating the opponent of German soldier. But eventually German was surrender, and Haber company was crushed, and he was no longer able to provide a salary to his subordinate. And then the side effect of that, also his wife committing suicide, because his wife was unhappy for Hubbard's work for developing chemical weapon that can kill many people. But in opposite, Hubbard himself was having an opinion that he can end war by developing chemical weapon that can end war without sacrificing many people. So in order to get out from his failure, Hubbard was trying to develop his research into another side, which is he was trying to extract gold from seawater, but turns out his experiment was not working. So what is the moral we can take from the story? Science and technology has inarguably helped humanity to advance their life, but we know that every tiny bit of information could be a double-edged sword. So it is human wisdom to determine whether the technology or science could be used for good or bad.